No, because I'm sure you're going to want to open the hood.
Well, I know he is just for the opening.
Oh no, because he'll have the hood open before I even
Oh yeah.
get the camera ready. Knowing him. Okay. Woo. All right. Well, we are here. Making sure I got sound. Yep, do. All right. How's it going, everybody? We got a little bit of a late start today, but it's all right. It's well worth it. We are going to be going over the Challenger tonight. Someone took my chair. So, I don't know what the old man's doing, but like I said, we're going to go over the Challenger tonight. We're going to go over the pictures, just to show you guys, you know, the wrong way. The damage and stuff and what we've done to it, and so you'll see that. And then we're also going to show the car. Oh, thank you, sir. Yeah. That's a little better. Philip the Third, what's going on tonight? Well, again, we're going to go over the Challenger. Oh, here comes the old fart now. We're going to go over the Challenger, show the actual car, show pictures of before and after, and go over some of the specs and everything of it.
Yeah, pretty much how the build, what we did for the build, and you know, the modifications we made to the car and that kind of thing. So, because we've heavily modified this car. So I wanted to kind of point out everything and show you guys this car's far enough along now it looks like a car. So we're gonna go over the things that we did and show some things that are maybe obvious and other things that are not so obvious, especially if you're not a Mopar guy. So, and tonight we got a couple special guests. We have Jeff Downey and his wife from Texas, and they brought up some local beer for me here. Shiner, some of you guys might have heard of it. I never heard of it before. So we're gonna have a beer with them tonight. But so we are, everything worked out. We're all live now, right?
We are live. We got Dwayne with us, Philip the Third with us.
Awesome.
Johnston CNC, he's got, Philip the Third has his natties.
Welcome everybody. So, cool.
So yeah, it's gonna block out my face, but that's all right. I'll probably save a lot of people from getting headaches. Here's a little bit of a slideshow going on here.
All right. So some of you guys have been following along on Facebook. We've had this project for a while now. It started out, it was supposed to be just a basically a paint job, put a chassis underneath of it. Well, when we got into the car and we started stripping it, we found out that it was pretty rough shape. So we ended up replacing every panel on this car except for the roof. The tail section, the cowl, the firewall, the floor pans, the trunk floors, the wheel tubs, the inner and outer rockers. I mean, this car took every part number in the AMD catalog, so which is Auto Metal Direct and Dynacorn. So, anyways, we're going to go over all those things with you guys, and we started this project with the engine. We wanted to. We're going to sit down, or we're going to stand up when we're doing this.
You can sit down.
Okay.
I'm just.
This thing's kind of hiding me there, so I don't know.
Well, yeah. Let me get rid of the slideshow real quick.
Oh, is that what's on there? Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that.
There we go.
All right, guys. So anyhow, we started a project building the engine. This is a small block. And we used a Ritter cast iron block, and actually I think Ritter is located here in Ohio. And so we started with that. We got a stroker kit, so it's 426 cubic inches now. The block starts as a 360 cubic inch small block. It's got Edelbrock heads on it we ported, and it's got a hydraulic roller cam in it. I believe it's a Howard's. I don't remember now. I got to look at the paperwork, but I think we put a Howard's hydraulic roller cam and lifters in this thing. And we're shooting for a target of somewhere around 500 horsepower, 500 to 550. We don't want to get too crazy with it because we want the thing to run or be able to be driven on the street. It's a street car, it's not a race car. And even though we put a Pro Touring chassis underneath this car, that's, you know, it's going to be a street car. So that's all right. Go ahead and adjust that. There we go.
That's good. Thank you.
But so that's how we started this project, and then we went and got the car. I think somewhere in late 2020 or maybe 2021, early 2021. I don't recall now. It's been a while. So we've had this car for about 3 or 4 years, and like I said, it was supposed to be. I mean, it didn't look that bad. When we picked the car up, it actually looked pretty nice. And the chrome trim around the windows and everything was pretty decent on the car. The dash pad's nice in the car. Steering wheel was really nice. So it looked like a really decent car. But then we started getting things stripped, and we found out this car was just Swiss cheese. And so we could have tried to repair the panels, but because they are available, which is nice, we were able to purchase all of them instead of having to repair the originals. We did repair the trunk lid for this car because it was not that bad. Along the lip, it was rusted, but we built a lip. I think there's a video on YouTube of that, but we repaired the lip on that. One thing we didn't anticipate was the firewall. Man, we got this thing all stripped down, and I don't know, on that slideshow, I'm sure it's gonna pop up. Actually, you'll see the cage, or the what they call a bird cage, in the intro picture that I put on tonight for tonight's podcast. And that'll show you guys what we stripped this car down to. And you can see the actual original firewall in that, and it's pretty rusty. But in all honesty, it ended up making this build a little bit nicer because we were able to align all the panels and make all the gaps perfect on this car and get everything lined up just the way we wanted it. And that was nice. So we mini tubbed this thing, and I'm going to show you guys all that. I'm hoping my son can make me mobile. I don't know if we are going to be mobile or not, but I want to take you around the car. And
Well, we can get the front.
we can't get the sides.
No.
Oh, you're killing me.
Unfortunately, but after this, maybe I will get some shots of the car and we'll put it up on YouTube.
All right, well, I really want to show you guys inside the trunk of this car because it looks factory stock. It does not look like we mini tubbed it. Because we put a Schwartz chassis underneath this, it's an actual full frame car now. There's a picture of the wheel tub there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but
This screen is what we're live to. This is what they're seeing.
okay.
So yeah, don't get confused with that.
So this is what
That's
they're
on
saying.
delay. Yep.
Okay.
This is what you're seeing live.
Okay. So the wheel tubs that they just seen, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, because this is a full frame car now, you can see we had to cut the floor pans out. And once we started cutting on the floor pans, we found they were pretty rusty, especially up by the firewall, the toe kick area on the firewall. So we ended up replacing all the floor pan in this thing too. And so while we were at it, what we did is we went ahead and cut and sectioned the floor pans, raised the floors up a little bit so it'd make more room for the exhaust so it doesn't hang down too low and hit whenever you're driving the car. And there's a picture there of the floor pan and all the pieces that we put in this car inside there. But so yeah, this car, and the problem is we got this project right when COVID hit. And because of that, it destroyed the parts supply. And we waited and waited. We literally waited for 2.5 years for parts for this car because of what happened with COVID. And another thing that happened too is they put that stimulus into the economy, and everybody went out and spent that money. And when they did, they emptied the inventory of all these parts stores and warehouses and everything, which they were not anticipating. And places like Summit Racing and Jigs and a lot of the parts suppliers I buy from, Comp Cams and all these guys, they ran out of inventory and they couldn't get it. And we waited for years, not months, years for camshafts and bearings and lifters and valve springs. I mean, you name it. We had trouble getting all those parts, as well as all the body parts for this car. I ended up lucking out finding some of this stuff on eBay. I had to pay more money for it, but it is what it is. You got to have it. And so, you know, we had some uphill challenges with this car, and which means, you know, the name of this car definitely fits this car, because it has been a challenge, and it's not stopping. We had a mishap today, and I'll explain that to you guys here in a minute too. But so anyhow, because we're using Schwartz chassis underneath this car, it's got a full frame, and we had to replace the rocker panels anyway. I actually bought 2 sets of rocker panels for this car, and we extended the rocker down, so now you can't see the frame from the side of the car. If we had not done that, when you were looking at the side of the car, you would see the frame. And we extended them, so the rocker's probably about that thick now instead of that thick. And it looks factory, it looks stock. And I really wanted to show you guys that tonight, but apparently we're not going to be able to.
We'll try.
Okay. There's a picture of you can see the floor pans out of the car right there. You can see the frame. And we put a Magnum 6-speed in this thing, which is a huge transmission. And so we had to modify the transmission tunnel, build a tranny tunnel for it actually. And I don't see any of the pictures in here going through, but
Not yet.
but yeah, so is this that thumb drive that we made, or?
This is, yes.
Okay, so it has all those pictures? There's like 2,000 pictures.
Well, I cut it down to 800. But
Okay. Yeah, we took a lot of pictures of this car.
he takes more pictures of the cars than he does his own kids.
Yeah, well, that's because my kids are never around. But anyway, so there was several challenges to build this car. And, you know, we had to wait for the wheels. We bought a custom Foose wheel. We got a 19-inch wheel on the back and a 18-inch wheel on the front. And those are custom made. They're not, they don't have them on the shelf. We had to order those. And of course, they were having trouble getting hoops or whatever. I don't even know. But it took us almost a year to get the wheels. And so just, I mean, one thing after another. And then in the meantime, while all this is going on, and I'm not complaining, it is life. It's just life has hiccups. But my wife almost died of COVID. So I was off. I had to take about a month off to be with her while she was recovering. And she was in the hospital for 6 days on oxygen. So we got through that. And then the following year, she was still weak from COVID. She hadn't fully recovered from it yet. And we were getting ready to go on vacation. And she fell off our porch and broke her heel. And when she did that, it shattered. It literally blew up. And she was still going to try to go on vacation with us. She was loading the car that day for us to leave that day to go to Myrtle Beach. And she was just so bummed out because she knew I was stressed from this car and all the things that are going on with the parts supply and everything. And she knew I needed a vacation. And we didn't get a vacation that year. So needless to say, what I ended up doing was I had to pick her up and carry her. And fortunately, we have a camper. And it's in a permanent spot, and we have a lot of friends out there. So I took her out to our camper because she couldn't get out of bed. She literally was an invalid. She couldn't walk for, I don't know, it was probably 12 weeks or better. And I had to spend probably a month with her then, and then thank God our friends at the campground were able to spend time with her so I could get away for a few hours and come to the shop and still work on things while, you know, she's recovering, and I could get some things done. And then another thing that happened to me was my accountant got sick, and I was being audited at the same time, and he was MIA, and so I'm struggling trying to find an accountant. The IRS, they don't care whether you got a sick accountant or not. They want to see you. So I had that going on. I mean, it was just one thing after another, you know. And like I said, I'm not looking for sympathy, but I just wanted to explain to everybody the reason why it took so long to get this car done. Typically, we can build one of these cars in about 2.5 years. But because of the circumstances and the events that happened, that were outside of my control, life got in the way, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? We did what we did, and I got through it, and made me a stronger person. So, and I didn't kill my son.
Whatever.
I drank a lot of beer, though. So speaking of, you know what? We got some special guests here tonight. We have, I think I told you, Jeff and his wife, and your name's Joe? Is it? Okay. His wife, Joe. And so anyhow, looks like they already have a beer, but hey, come on over here so they can see you. This is Joe. This is Jeff.
Hey.
Downey. They're from Texas.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, there you go. And they brought me this awesome gift of a Shriner beer. So I'm going to have one of these tonight, and they're more than welcome to have one as well.
We brought our other Texas beer.
Is that what, Miller Lite?
Miller Lite. That's another Texas beer.
Is that right? That's an Ohio beer too. Must be an all-around beer. But anyhow, Jeff is, we're doing a set of Ram Air 5 heads for Jeff. He's got a 71 Le Mans? 77 Le Mans. And we're going to do him a set of heads for that, and he's going to put them on a 455 or 428.
It's 428 board to 455.
All right, so that'll be a fun street car whenever he gets it all done. I think he's going to do a little drag racing with it too. So.
And I may go ahead and increase the board to 4210.
Oh yeah, if you can do that, that would be awesome. Yep, that would be better. So yeah, if we can do that, that would be great. But yeah, that and Joe, she's got a Corvette, supercharged Corvette, and they just had some engine work done with that car and put down 736. You said to the tire?
Well, yeah, 750. It's close to 750.
Okay, close to 750 to the tire. So she's a hot rod girl. She likes to race.
I do like to race. I do.
So, but yeah, it was nice of them. They came up, they were, I don't know if they're doing a road trip or what's going on, but that was awful nice of them. I put a thing on Facebook and they responded to it. I had an engine down in Texas, and how far was that from you?
So you had them do your dirty work.
Hey, man. All I did was put it out there. Jeff says, yeah, we're coming up.
It was actually on your podcast.
It's a podcast.
Was it?
It was when you were talking about it, and it was only 40 miles from the house, and so, yeah, of course, anywhere we go, it's an adventure. So.
Well, Jeff gets into town, and I get a phone call. First of all, they had ran into traffic on the highway, so they were a little bit late, and which is no big deal because I work late anyway. And he calls me up and he says, I lost oil pressure. And I said, you did? Where? He says, we're like 15 minutes from you. So what had happened was he rubbed a hole in one of the oil cooler lines, and it dumped all the oil out of the engine on the highway, well, on the road. And so I went and got some plugs, and Jeff crawled underneath that thing and got filthy dirty on the side of the road plugging it up. But then he went to Niagara Falls.
And we just got back.
And they just got back to be in time for the show. So.
That's a lot of water.
And that was an adventure
It was.
in
It
itself.
was. We were one of the lucky few that got to be searched.
Oh boy! I hope not strip search.
Well, the Suburban did.
Oh really?
Suburban got unclothed.
They
Oh
were
man!
digging in his tools. and-
Wow! Wow!
Yeah.
Yeah. When you cross the border now, it's kind of it's crazy anymore with all that's going on. So
And it's like I told her, they looked everywhere but under the hood. I'm like,
They didn't pop the hood.
that's weird, huh? Yeah, you would have thought they would have checked the air cleaner or something, you
They
know?
looked everywhere but under the hood.
Yeah.
We'll leave the border patrol alone. We may have to go back across the border at some point.
Right. So, all right. Well, yeah. So that I wanted to introduce these guys, but I'm back on the Challenger here. That the other thing we did too. I lucked out when we first got this car, and I found a shaker hood for this thing, which is really, really hard to find. A factory original shaker hood, and with the shaker, the hood, and and the guy had a tri-power for the small block. So I'm going to have my son turn the camera around here in a minute, and well, you can do it now. And what we'll do is I'm going to pop the hood on this thing and pull that air cleaner off there, and you guys can see the engine, because with the air cleaner on there, it covers up the whole top half of the engine. You can't even see it. But then I want to show you some of the stuff under the hood we did as well. But this is a really cool car. It's not your average Challenger. So as you can see, it's got the shaker hood, kind of like a Trans Am. So this is almost a Pontiac. I know I'm going to get ribbed about that. So, but yeah, you can see, and we put a CVF billet aluminum pulley system on this thing. Serpentine drive now instead of a V-belt. We had to custom build these headers for this chassis, and they're stainless steel. The whole exhaust is custom built on this car. It's a 3-inch exhaust, and it is like really, really tight on this car. And we wanted tailpipes with the factory chrome tips on them, or polished stainless tips on it. So I found some custom made 3-inch stainless steel tips for the exhaust on this car. But like I was telling you, I lucked out and I found the factory tri-power for this thing, which is pretty freaking rare to find for a small block. Let's see if I can get this air cleaner off without messing things up here. All right, so this is an actual Ram Air cleaner. It's got Ram Air doors and stuff on the bottom of it. And this is that cable in my left hand, that's what actuates them.
How does that work on that?
Mechanical. Nope, all mechanical. Yep. I don't know if you guys can hear me over here or not. I had to take that shaker scoop over to the other side. I didn't want to sit it on the floor and somebody step on it and ruin it. So anyhow, it's got a Ram Air, or the base on here, and that part of that Ram Air set, or air door setup, opens this up and allows heated air to come in there until the engine warms up, and then you can open up the scoops and it'll get cool air into the carburetors. But to find a shaker hood or shaker scoop for a tri-power small block is like finding hen's teeth. So now that that's out of the way, you guys can see the engine. And Chrysler did their intakes right. Check out the high rise on that. That's factory. This factory Holly 3-deuce intake. That, I think they call them 6-packs on these. But that's factory setup from Mopar. And those are all factory carburetors. And these are NOS carburetors too. They're brand new carburetors, which is really rare to find too. So one of the other things we did here, this core support's all custom. We had to custom build this whole core support. We used a lot of the factory stuff, but we had to modify all this because we put an aluminum radiator in here. And it's different than the factory. So we notched around the radiator cap here. And I don't know if that camera can reach down in here or not, but we're probably making you guys dizzy, I'm sorry. Is this thing working? I don't see it on the screen.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
That's because it won't show it on that screen.
Okay, all right. So anyways, this is a Ford Taurus fan, electric fan. We found those are the only fans, electric fans, that'll pull enough air and keep these things cool. But we have an aluminum radiator with the Taurus electric fan that we fitted to this radiator for this car. You can see that we highly modified this core support. This is a bushing, kind of like a GM car has now. We built all that. That's all hand-fabbed brackets, and we used GM radiator core support bushings, and we built built brackets too for the frame. And this thing's mounted on bushings. They wanted us to actually weld the frame to the floor pan in this car, and we just thought, you know what, that's going to make this car ride too harsh. So we ended up fabbing frame brackets and using body bushings on all of it. They're polyurethane, but they're all, it's a body bush car now. So these inner fenders, these are all fabricated. We got the factory ones. We did buy the factory fender liner or inner fenders, but we had to make this wider right here because we had to clear underneath this is, and I don't know if we can see it in here or not, but up underneath there has got coilover suspension. Can they see that?
Yep.
Okay. So, and the factory inner fender would not clear all that, so we had to widen those to make it clear. So, you know, everything on this car is custom. There's hardly anything that's not custom on it. We had to fabricate the engine mounts. This got rack and pinion steering on it now. Like I was telling you, the header on this car, these are hand-built headers. So we had to build that, and while we did it, we went ahead and made them a stepper header. So we started out, for the guys that don't know what a stepper header is, all right, you start out with like an 1 3/4 tube. These I think are 1 5/8 because it's small block. And then we stepped it down to an 1 3/4. And then you can go 3 steps if you want. We only went 2 steps on this, but what that does, it picks up airspeed because it's reducing the restriction as it moves down line. And then we went into a merge collector down there, which actually creates a vacuum or a suction on the exhaust side and helps scavenge the cylinders. So you want you want to do a merge collector on your high performance engines to help evacuate the cylinder. The more combustion you can get out of the chamber, the more horsepower you'll make. And it makes more room for an intake charge, which means you're going to make more power too. So we did all that. The other thing we did too is if you look over there, you can see we put Hydro Boost on this too. This car was a manual brake car, so we converted it to power brakes and put Hydro Boost on it, which runs off the power steering pump. We don't have all that hooked up right now. We're still working on this car. We still got some things to do, but the power steering reservoir will go over here on this side of the car, and then all the lines are going to run to that so that we can, you know, have fluid like kind of like a dry sump setup instead of having it on the power steering pump. So you can see that power steering pump doesn't have a reservoir on it. We had to hand build all that steering linkage. We actually took the factory column and up there by the firewall, we cut that off. Way short, it was way long. It came, the factory, the steering box, and I don't know if I'm going to kick something or not when I move through here, but the factory steering box on the factory cars, these cars don't have a frame, remember, they got a K-member. So on the K-member, the steering box was right about here, and the steering column comes straight down to it. And of course now we don't have the factory frame under the car anymore, so we had to build the linkage so it would go to the rack and pinion steering on this car.
So Mark Marshall said, nice work, Don. Is this your car or a customer build?
This
I looked
is-
at the paint when I picked up my 522, looked really nice.
This is a customer's car. Mr. John Eprecht, he owns a local business here, him and his brother, and I probably, I don't want to mention the name of it or anything because I don't know if he wants me to disclose that or not, but he's got a nice little business going on, and so allows him to afford a toy like this. But yeah, this is not my car. I can't afford a car like this. This is an expensive ride. So the other thing I lucked out and found too, and I just found these, I was looking for valve covers for this car and I couldn't find anything that I liked. And I was on eBay and somebody had a brand new NOS set of Mopar performance valve covers. So I went ahead and purchased those. Originally, we were going to try to use a repop version of this, and I was going to machine all this out of there, and then we were going to engrave something in there for John. And if he wants to do that still, we can still do that. It's not a problem. It's just that these valve covers are so rare, I hate to cut them up. But we put tinted glass in this thing. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Some of you guys might have seen the mishap that we had. We had when we were installing the rear glass, for whatever reason, it blew up. And so we had to order another one of those, and we just got that in about a week ago.
Everyone's loving that Ford fan, the Ford power fan. They said it adds 20 horsepower.
Believe it or not, the electric fan does free up about 15, 20 horsepower.
And Larry O said he would love some custom built 2-inch tube headers for his Pontiac.
Yeah, we can do that, but the thing of it is, what we're trying to do right now is we're trying to take it a little bit different direction in the business. We're going to do crate engines, and eventually, oh, I have to turn that compressor off. So eventually, what I'm going to do is we are going to build custom headers for you guys and build a stepper with a merge collector on them. But that's in the future. I still got to get the new cylinder heads done, and the next thing I'm doing is an engine block, and then after that, a couple intake manifolds, and then we can start working on projects like the headers. But you can see on this car too, we put projector headlights on it too. So the lighting's going to be way better on this. We used LED bulbs and all the marker lights and the directionals and that kind of thing too. So those are brighter now. But this is a labor of love. You either love doing this or you hate it. I hate it right now. So.
Is this a custom purple, or is this like a factory color purple for a Challenger or Chrysler would use?
It is a DCI Plum Crazy Purple. We custom blend this. So, and if you look down the side of this car, you can see this thing is laser straight. I don't know how good a job I'm doing. Am I doing all right there, son?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't tell. So you can see Brandon did an awesome job getting all these panels lined up perfect on this car. That takes hours. That doesn't happen by accident. So it just takes a lot of time. I wish I had a little bit more lead here so I could get around and show you guys the door gaps and stuff, but I don't have enough lead. I don't know, maybe you can get to see the rocker panels. See how wide those rockers are now? Those are extended. We took 2 rockers and built one so that we could hide the frame. And it gives the car a lower, meaner look too, even though the car's not that low. It does sit low, but you gotta remember, we got an 18-inch wheel on the front and a 19 on the back, so you know, that big tire's filling up that wheel well, so it makes it look like the car sits lower than what it really does. It's still got plenty of ground clearance. It just, you know, it's just an illusion. But yeah, so I wanted you guys to see this. It's kind of our project car that we've had for a while, and because of, like I was explaining to you, all the circumstances that were going on, we just, it's taken a long time to get done, and we're finally to the point where the car's starting to look like a car again. And all the chrome we had polished, all the factory stainless, that's all been repolished. All new glass in the car, it's all smoked. These are Foose wheels. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. It's a Foose 2-piece wheel, billet wheel. And those aren't cheap if anybody's ever priced those out. And this car here, you know, I'm not going to disclose the amount that it cost to build this thing because it's not fair to anybody, but it costs a lot to build a car like this. This is not your average restoration. We're not buying parts and bolting them on. Everything on this car has been hand fabbed, and I wanted to show you another thing that we did too on this hood. Is that camera going to clear the hood there? Yep, we're good. All right, so Brandon, he was after me, and he was after the owner of the car, and he kept bugging me and bugging me and bugging me, and then finally the owner come in and Brandon bugged him, and so anybody that knows these cars knows there's an emblem that goes right here on the nose of this hood, and you can see it's gone now. So what Brandon did was he cut that section out because it's like a pent star. Isn't that what's on there? Like a triangle looking thing, and it is ugly. I agree with him, it is ugly. And so we had to fabricate all that right there into the hood. So that was some more customization. This whole car has been customized. Everything on this car has been customized. And what? Right. What we tried to do is we wanted this car to look like it came from the factory. We didn't want it to look like it was modified. And so I don't know if you guys agree with us or not, but I think we did a pretty good job of doing that. We still got to put the black stripe on the car yet to match the hood scoop, and some other things. I mean, this car still, believe it or not, we got a ton of time in this thing, and we still probably have a couple hundred more hours to finish this car yet. It's just amazing how much time it takes to build a car like this. I wish it would be quicker. I wish it was as fast as everybody thinks we can do these for, because I'll tell you what, if they could do them as quick as everybody thinks I can, I'd be a millionaire. Another thing we did too is we custom blend a color for the grill and the tail panel. The tail panel is the same color as the grill, so that's not a factory color. And this car had a ton of undercoating on it. So just to get that grill cleaned up, because it was covered with undercoating all on the back of it and all inside of these grills, when they blew it on there, it blew everywhere. And so it took about 2.5 days just to get that stuff cleaned up.
That's the real reason why you cut the car all up.
Why?
Because all the undercoating.
Oh. I wish we would have done a good job protecting it. We could have just painted this thing and we'd be done with it. Yeah. Something else we're doing too is we're building a custom wiring harness for this car. We built a custom console. Where's the console at for this? So we built a custom console. This thing, the next step for it is going to the interior shop. As soon as we get this thing running and get the engine broke in a little bit, so I don't have to worry about the rings getting washed out from people starting it and moving it around, it's going to go to the interior shop. But we're going to build a custom wiring harness for this car, and we're going to put the fuse panel inside the glove box. That way, heaven forbid, he's out on the road somewhere and he blows a fuse, he don't have to try to crawl underneath the dash and find out which fuse is blown. He can just open the glove box, look down in there, and you'll be able to see it. We're going to mount the ignition box in the trunk. It's actually going to go up in the package tray by the speakers back there. And the reason we're doing that is to get it out from under the hood. We want to keep under the hood as clean as possible. So we're moving that to the rear. We put the battery in the back. We have a custom battery box that we built, and it's on a slide. And we're going to build panels that go inside the trunk, but we put the battery box on a slide so that we can pull the slide out and you can get the battery out of it, and then put the battery back in, slide it back in. This is the console that we're building for this thing too. So we're trying to make it look factory. Anybody that knows these cars knows that it's got, the factory console's got this like, I don't know, decor or whatever you want to call it around the shifter there. And this car was originally an automatic car. Now it's going to be a manual car. It's got the Magnum 6-speed in it.
Larry O asked, how many degrees did you tilt the engine down?
Tilt the engine down? We didn't tilt it down that much. Can't because of the shaker hood. So we had to keep it pretty close to factory. Otherwise the shaker wouldn't fit right. We did have to, because this chassis, the engine sits down lower in it, we ended up, I don't know if I can get this hood back open here. We ended up using a 1-inch spacer underneath the carburetor to get the carburetors back up and get the scoop back up so it looked decent in the hood. It had too much of a gap. It was sitting down in underneath the hood about that far. So we ended up raising the carburetors up, and it looks a lot nicer now. Yeah. Where's my beer at? I'm getting dry. Oh, there we go. Thank you. So, yeah, is this camera still on, or
I can switch it.
All right.
All right, we're switched.
Good. But yeah, so this has been a serious project, an undertaking while we're still trying to build engines for everybody, do ram air 5-cylinder heads for everybody, and everything else we got going on. And it's just, I don't have that much help. It's me, Brandon, my nephew Luke helps us part-time 3 days a week, and I got another buddy, family member, whatever you want, however you want to look at it. He's actually my daughter-in-law's cousin's husband, so part of the family, and he comes 2 days a week and helps us out. So we don't have a lot of help, so we get a lot of work done for very little help that we have. But yeah, that, I wish this was a Trans Am. It would be way, way cooler. But it's not. It's a Challenger, and you know what? I don't mind Mopars. I love the body on these cars, and now that we built this car, I like this car the way it's built because it's got GM brakes on it. It's got a Ford 9-inch under it, and we got a full frame under the car. So now, whenever you open and close the doors, it don't sound like a tin can. It sounds like a GM car. We lizard skinned all the inside of the quarter panels and door skins to help with sound deadening. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on with this car. This car, there is not one thing on this car that has not been touched. There is literally nothing on this car that we did not fabricate or put new, or most of it's fabricated. That core support, that's not even close to factory now. So that was a major undertaking all by itself. And doing this with all the crap that was going on with the world. So we did good. I think we did good anyway. The guy that owns the car probably doesn't think so, but that's all right.
Takes time.
It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time. Just to do a paint job. I mean, this has got an $80,000 paint job. Now, I know people are going to say, oh, how could that be $80,000? I'm telling you right now, this is an $80,000 paint job. You take this car and ask them what it costs to paint a car like this, and that's what it costs. We have, just in materials alone, probably, I don't know, what do you think, 8 to 10 grand?
Yeah, about 10 grand.
Yeah, so, and I'm probably missing something. I bet it's more than that.
We didn't just paint the outside.
Mm-mm.
The underside, inside the fender.
Yeah, yeah.
Inside the inner fender.
What Brandon just said, think about what we painted. This whole car is purple. You see the inner fenders, you see the firewall, you see the inside of the car. The whole bottom of the car is purple. The whole inside of the trunk's purple. This is not a just a scuff and shoot car.
3 gallons of color.
Yeah, we used 3 gallons of color on this car, and probably what, 4 gallons of clear on it.
About 3. Yeah,
So
3.5.
it takes a lot to build a car like this. This is not your average build. So I don't think, unless you see it in person, I don't think you know the magnitude of how nice this car is. And there's so many little details that I'm forgetting about that, that we did. I mean, we had the whole dash out of this car, obviously, and that whole dashboard was completely disassembled. We repainted all the dash on this thing, replaced the broken brackets, the heater box on this thing. You know, we got 10 hours just doing the heater box on this car because when we took it apart, we weren't going to do anything but blow off because it looked pretty nice on the outside. But we thought, you know what, we better check the heater core, and thank God we did because the heater core was leaking, and the air door in there had rusted and fell off of the hinge part of it. So we had to fix that, and it was full of rat crap. So if we would have done that, and he's getting a big dollar interior put in his car, he would have turned the blower motor on the first time, blew that crap all over his interior. He would not have been a happy camper. So thank God we did tear it apart. But that was 10 hours, you know. And when I tell somebody, yeah, it was 10 hours to fix the heater box, they look at me like, are you nuts? But you got to see the heater box. It looks brand new now. We replaced all the seals in it. All the air doors and stuff are painted inside. We painted the outside. We preserved the, it's got like a stamp on it from the factory. We preserved that. It looks pretty cool. So the blower motor, we had to test that, take it apart and clean it and redo the brushes and make sure everything and re-lubricate it. So we're not just replacing a blower motor, or we're not just replacing a heater core. You're doing a lot more when you build a car like this. And that, it takes time, just takes time. So, any questions on this thing, Brandon?
Dwayne wants to know, will I have a pistol grip shifter?
It will. I don't know where it's at, but we have a pistol grip shifter handle for it too. So it's going to look like a factory. When you sit inside the car, it's going to look factory. It's going to have pistol grip shifter in it with a factory-looking console. Now, obviously, we had to make this console. Oh, and that's the reason why we made the console. is two reasons. It's well, it's a manual transmission now, and because we modified the tunnel to fit that transmission. We literally raised the tunnel up probably that far on this car. Them Magnum 6-speeds are huge. There's no way you're going to put one of those in a factory floor car.
Philip the Third says, someone just commented.
Oh.
I was ready to say that.
Why didn't you take them out?
I didn't ready to say it.
So yeah, here's the pistol grip shifter handle for it.
Philip the Third says he works for free. He will be taking an adventure like that and stop by and see you.
Oh, another out-of-town guest. Yep. Well, don't break down, Phil. He'll probably fly in. Yeah, poor Jeff. He's stuck on the side of the road. Thank God he's prepared, man. I tell you what, the guy's a fireman, and his wife's telling me a story about he's got a 100-foot rope in his duffel bag. Why the hell you take a 100-foot rope on trip? You know what? You might be worried about that, Joe. I don't know.
That's true. He will not tie me in.
It won't tie you up? Well, if he does, I'm sure it'll be for fun. But yeah, Jeff, he was prepared. He had all his tools. He even had a jumpsuit to put on so he didn't get his clothes all dirty. And I mean, he was underneath there working on it. I was chasing parts.
Why don't you come back over?
All right. So, hey, this beer is pretty good. I like this.
Texas born, you can't beat it.
So this is a brewery that's close to you guys,
It
or?
was down south.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
You know what? Hey, Brandon, grab that bottle of vodka too.
It's very popular in Texas.
Is it? It's good. I like it. Tastes good.
It's better draft.
They bought me some other beer too, and maybe I'll get Brandon to grab that too. It's kind of like a Coors Light. It even actually has a logo similar.
Yeah, it's from our local microbrew in
Okay.
Amarillo called Pondicetta.
Okay. And what's the name of that beer?
So, low something.
Yeah, it's low something.
Yeah, this is good. I like this.
Well, because you like Yingling, don't you?
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of similar.
Yeah, very similar. Yeah, it's a little lighter, which that's okay. I like that. But yeah, yeah, have one of those, son. You're welcome to one. They came bearing gifts. They brought me beer. They brought me vodka.
Did you get them gifts?
No.
We did. We got two DCI
We
shirts.
did.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, they won the. Now this is pretty cool. Check this out, guys. But first of all, yeah, they were the two that won the guess the horsepower on that blown Ram Air 5 engine, and you know what? Honestly, I didn't think that anybody would guess that because typically you don't make that kind of power. You know, it's usually around 1,1300 horsepower. That was a pretty amazing engine. So, but anyhow, this is called Bomb City Vodka, and check out the bottle. Looks like a bomb. So there's a distillery down there that's
There is.
Amarillo, Texas.
Yeah.
okay.
Amarillo, Texas.
Amarillo, Texas. Cool.
Now, there's a big nuclear back in World War II.
It's been there forever, for as long as I can
Right,
remember.
but they built nuclear bombs at one time. So, so that's the coin of the knockoff of Bomb City.
Oh, good. So they're not making it there. If so, that thing probably glows in the dark.
Actually, they do have some bottles that are
They do light up.
limited
Oh, do they?
edition that light up.
Yeah, so anyway, Jaime, well, we call her Jaime, her name's Jamie, but I'm going to give that bottle to her because she likes to put all them lights in all her bottles and stuff, so yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it will be cool. But yeah, so they brought me two different kinds of beer and vodka. So
Well, and we came down here and we're like, man, I hope we didn't think we're just bearing alcoholic gifts. He may think that all we do is sit around and
drink. Well, I think that's what everybody thinks I do. I hope after they've seen this car that we just got done with that they understand we don't just sit around and drink all the time, even though it looks like it. Yeah, when we're done at the end of the day, we drink a lot, but we don't usually get done till like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. So, but yeah, I know Philip III, he thinks I drink a lot of beer.
You just asked, why not tequila?
I'm not a tequila fan. There is one that we did at the Mexican restaurant, and it's like mezcal or something like it.
Mezcal.
Yeah, that is good. That's really good. I like that. But the others, it just has a real sour, bitter taste to me. So.
Mezcal is supposed to be 100% agave,
Oh,
which helps not give you the headache.
yeah. I was going to say, I drank a half a bottle of that and woke up, and I was ready to do a marathon. So, but yeah. But thank God that Jeff was coming this way. I don't know how'd you guys end up deciding to come up here anyway?
I was like, hey babe, wouldn't this be fun?
After getting strip searched and breaking down, this has been a great trip. That is fun. In some people's world, that's like a lot of fun. But yeah, so they brought the engine up. I bought an engine down in
Borger, Texas.
Borger, Texas, yeah, from a shop teacher down there of all people. And we got another car, and I must be stupid because we're taking on a 67 GTO convertible. We're going to do a restoration on that car, which I told myself after this one I'm not doing anymore. But anyways, I'm a sucker. What happens is it's hard to find a shop to do it right and to get them done. You know, you hear these places taking these cars on, and they either go out of business or the car just sits in the corner and collects dust and never gets done, and then you can buy them for pennies on the dollar. You see them on Facebook and on Marketplace and eBay all the time, and that's the way most shops do you. They don't finish the project. So, and I feel bad for these guys because you know what? They go to these other shops and they get screwed, and then I don't know. I'm a sucker. So.
When my transmission went out in my vet, right after I bought it in October, and I knew the clutch was slipping. And then right before Thanksgiving, I was taking it to a shop to have it looked at. That's before I met Jeff. And it literally went out on the way. Like, I'm coasting. And I'm like, well, there it is, because I have no way of moving it now.
Right.
And it sat in that shop for 3 months, and he didn't touch it.
Yep.
Well, I thought he didn't touch it.
Right.
Had a race car, an SCCA friend of mine. Anyway, they came and got it, loaded it up, hauled it down to Lubbock, Texas, which is Scoggin and Dickey is where they build.
I know them. Yep.
NASCAR Chevys. Anyway, and so they got it in, got it on the lift, and they're like, "Where's half of this? Because it's gone."
Wow. So they started taking it apart.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So did they have your parts?
Oh no, he said he never touched it.
Really? Wow. And see, that's the stories I hear all the time, guys. I don't make this stuff up. It's true. You know, these other shops. I don't know how they stay in business doing stuff like that, but somehow they do. But yeah, so we got that 67 GTO coming in, and this is the engine right here on the pallet that Jeff and Joe brought up for me, and it's the correct YZ code which we need for 67 400 HO GTO. Just happened to be that Chip Watson is his name? Watson. Yeah, Chip Watson down in Texas had it. I don't know if he's watching tonight or not, but thank you, Chip. I appreciate that, buddy, for keeping it for as long as you did and looking after it for me. And I'm sorry you put it in a crate and we ended up not using a crate. But I didn't know how that was going to come my way. I thought I was going to have a freight company bring it up, but Jeff volunteered, and I said, you know what, I'd rather give you the money than a freight company any day, so it worked out good.
Well, and we knew it'd get here safely.
Yes, and that's a big thing too. I appreciate that. Yes, very. You know, I hear stories they were sleeping in the truck with it. I don't know. So I think that might be BS.
We did make sure we valeted, so it was,
Right.
it was in secured, locked-in area.
Yeah, well, thank you.
We heard stories about
You know what? They're not. Those aren't. They're hard to find with the correct engine code. You know, that's a 360 horse engine, is what that is. So, but yeah, and we needed it for that build. That guy doesn't have the original engine in his car any longer.
Is that the matching transmission too?
Yeah, for a 67 GTO. But he's already got a tranny. I don't know if we'll reuse that one or not. But yeah. So, but yeah, well, you know what? What do we got? Any questions? I mean, this isn't a Pontiac night. I'm sorry, guys. It's kind of just a show and tell. After all the hard work that Brandon put in this car and all the guys here at the shop, I wanted to show it off a little bit, let everybody see what we've been doing, and that way, whenever somebody calls and says, "Hey, where's my heads at?" We were working on a Challenger. Actually, we just got heads. They're sitting behind me here. I ordered those things. Jeff confirmed it the other night when he was here, I think about a year ago. Might have been over a year ago.
Well, it'll be in August or September. It'll
Be a year in August or September, yeah. And I don't know if you guys remember, I put a thing on Facebook because they're going to raise the price. Well, they did raise the price on me, even though I thought they weren't going to raise the price on me. It is what it is. It doesn't matter. I got a handful of guys that put deposits on it. I'm going to honor the old price for the heads, but they are going to be going up. So, but it is what it is. It's part of the times we're living in right now. Everything's going up, and there's nothing nobody can do about it.
Bill said that he spent 2.5 years in clean.
In where?
Clean.
Clean?
Colleen.
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 Colleen, Texas, yeah. We know where that's at.
Okay.
It's south of us.
Oh, okay.
Texas is a huge, huge state. Man, it's huge.
It is big.
You know, I mean, we live in Ohio, and we can drive from Michigan to West Virginia in probably about 4 hours.
Just a little over, yeah.
And we're not even to Dallas.
Right.
Yeah, we're not even down.
We're nowhere.
Yeah.
We're not quite to Albuquerque, we're not quite to Oklahoma City, and you're certainly not in Dallas, so.
Brandon, when he goes to Arizona, I think he drives through part of Texas on Route 10.
Across 40.
Oh, 40, is that what it is? 40? Yeah. And, I mean, that's a 3-day drive to Phoenix.
Yeah, well, you're going to the Panhandle, so it's not a very long drive to Texas. In that area.
Area, right.
It's pretty narrow.
Right.
Now, if you go south, yeah, it's a day.
So Texas is, my geography probably sucks, so don't laugh at me. But Texas is right on the Gulf Coast, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I
Yeah.
thought, yeah.
And the Mexican border.
And the Mexican border, yeah. 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 Yeah, we know how that's going right now. Yeah.
And when we were sitting in line and the lady was asking, or the gentleman was asking him, so has this Suburban been in Canada before? And I was thinking, does that matter?
Right. Why does it even matter? But you know what? You think about it. You got a Texas plate. I just thought of that. Oh, now you know what? You guys are lucky you didn't get strip searched. That just dawned on me why they did that to you. Yeah, holy cow. They were looking for an illegal in there. Yeah. But so yeah, that was so I wanted to share everybody the car. This is a beautiful car. You know, it's not for the faint of heart to build, but it's like a one of a kind actually. I don't know if any other Challenger looks like or is built like this. And from where it came from to where it is today, it's come a long way. And we're still got a long way to go, but we'll get it done. I'm hoping to have it finished up here maybe in a month. I don't know. We'll see. Time is tough for us, and we got other projects we've been putting off because we haven't had time to work on them to get this thing done. I was trying real hard to get it done for John's birthday. He turned 70 this year, and I wanted to have it there for his birthday party, and it just didn't work out. So it is what it is, but we'll get it done for him this year hopefully, and he can drive it a little bit. But so we don't have any other questions there. I mean, tonight I know it's not kind of a Pontiac night, but
No, just really, Phil Third said, do you have enough parts to build me a Pontiac? We'll start with an engine. And Mike said ground up. Restoration means you're a glutton for punishment. 66 and 67s are challenging just because the way the cars are put together, and the weather stripping is really fun.
oh yeah, yep. I've done a couple 67s, I know.
And then Phil Third said, I can get to Texas in a day, and 3 days cross it on I-10.
Yeah. Yeah, 3 days to cross Texas. That's a big state. Holy cow.
What, about
I,
1,000 miles across, I think it is?
I can drive to Florida and back.
I think it's about 1,000 miles across I-10 from border to border.
Well, you said it's what, roughly 1,000 miles from your place to here, right? Yeah.
It's a little over.
It's more than that.
Yeah, it's a little over there.
Yeah.
To Dayton, it's 1250.
Oh, wow. So
To Dayton.
to Dayton. So it's about 1350, 1400. Yeah. So yeah, Dayton's about 3.5 hours south of us. But yeah, that's crazy.
I know Maine's about 2,000, right around 2,000 miles.
So you guys come through St. Louis and everything then, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you did come through St.
Yes.
Louis? Or-
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We did Oklahoma City, St. Louis, Indianapolis.
Yep.
In here.
Man, you guys went right with the storms.
Yeah.
All right.
We've been lucky.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of rain today, but we got out early
Okay.
and left, and so we hit it just right. We had some heavy rain, but wasn't bad.
Good.
Yeah.
Some of those tornadoes were pretty bad.
Yeah, I had lunch on Lake Erie,
Ah,
Nice.
so,
yeah. So was you guys able to find a nice place to stay over here in Kent, or?
yeah.
Okay,
So
good.
we stayed by the university,
Yeah.
and,
Right downtown.
yeah, and you just walk
Yeah.
to all of that.
Yeah, it's a college town, so there's a lot of restaurants and bars, and there's all kinds of stuff there. So
We had the
yeah,
best
good.
tacos. Bara.
It was,
Yes.
yeah.
It was good.
Huh?
Been there.
So it's kind of crazy because you like,
They were bowls, actually.
yeah, we made it into bowls, but you could like add whatever you wanted. You just circle it as you go down.
So it's like a buffet kind of a thing,
No,
or?
it's like a Scantron.
Oh,
those little Scantron
yeah,
things?
yeah.
And you just circle in the dot what you want.
That's cool.
So I was able to get, my cauliflower rice and what I wanted.
Nice. I'll have to check that out sometime.
Good.
A buddy of mine has a pizza shop over at a place called Madcap over there in Kent, and it's a brewery, a microbrewery, and he's got a pizza shop in the back half of it.
Oh, cool.
And if you guys like chicken wings, his chicken wings, they're not chicken wings. They're like chicken legs. They're huge. And his pizzas are to die for. He's got a really good pizza. So
That sounds good. We haven't eaten yet.
there you go. So if you guys go back over there and stay, look up Madcap. It's not too far away.
Well,
So
his place is called,
Leangelo's.
Leangelo's.
Yeah, but it's in Madcap. So if they look up Madcap, go to Madcap. And they got, it's a microbrewery, so it has, it's kind of like what's that, Buster's or Dave and Buster's?
Buster's.
You know what a Dave and Buster's is?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that. They got skee ball and pinball machines and stuff like that. So,
cool.
yeah.
We always find the coolest places. Usually.
That's awesome. Well, I am glad you guys got to come up. That's fun. So,
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yep.
Been a lot of fun.
You guys got to see a lot of the country. I mean, you're clear up there. Niagara Falls, holy cow. From Texas?
And then we're going back a different way. So we're gonna do Air Force Museum in Dayton.
Oh, yeah. That's a nice museum. You'll like
Yeah,
that.
He's
Yep.
been there. I have not.
My son's in the Air Force, so I've been
Oh,
there
okay.
several times.
Nice.
She hasn't been there, so.
You'll enjoy that.
We're doing the Ark experience, Noah's Ark.
Oh, yeah.
We're
Yeah.
gonna do that. Dump down.
I think they actually have live animals for that, too.
Do they really?
I think so, yeah.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure.
Bowling Green, Kentucky, of course, for the museum, Corvette Museum.
That's pretty cool.
It's its
Yep.
70th anniversary this year,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, that'll
change
be.
things out.
I got a quick story to tell you about that. We stopped in there, my wife and I, because my daughter lives in Nashville, and it's on the way because it's on 71 and 65. So anyhow, we're in there looking at the Corvette. It was right after that sinkhole thing where the Corvettes fell in the sinkhole and everything. And so anyways, we're looking at that, and we're going out to the lobby, and what they do is they stage all the cars, and the owners can actually come there when they buy their car, and they got a test track there, and you can drive your car on the test track. So we're standing there, the first car in line, believe this or not, had Don and Cindy Johnston on it, and that's my wife's name. I said, let's show them the ID. Had a different address, but it had Don and Cindy, and it spelled Johnston, just like my last name. And I said, what are the odds of that?
That's crazy.
and I was dumb enough I didn't take a picture.
So were you there when somebody came to pick it up? Because they blow all kinds of whistles and they make a
No,
big
we
tent.
weren't there. We were there actually, I think we were going through early in the morning, and they do that in the afternoon, I think, so. And they were just getting the car staged for those people to come do that.
They now charge extra for that.
Oh, yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes,
Used to,
they
you
do.
could have it delivered there and it was free because they manufacture right across the street.
Right, exactly, yeah.
But now it's extra.
Yeah, yeah. That's pretty cool, though. I want to see the plant. I want to go through the plant.
That would be cool.
Yeah. The museum is cool, but it's, unless you're into the history of the Corvette, it's kind of boring,
Right.
but it's cool.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Steven says Muscle Car Museum in Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg is awesome too.
Oh, yeah. You guys could catch that on the way home, too.
That would be good.
Yep. Because that's Tennessee, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Gatlinburg, yeah. But yeah, they have a big car show at Pigeon Forge.
Yeah, huge one.
Yeah, it's really big.
That'd be cool.
Yep.
I love to race mine. And that, you can ask him. I get all kinds of giddy when I get to race my car. But I like to show it too.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
like to show it.
The show part is okay. It's a little too boring for me. And then you hear the same story over and over. When you have the old cars like this,
Right.
my uncle or my dad or, and everybody's car pulled the wheels and jumped the wheelies over pop cans or beer cans. So it drives me crazy hearing that same story. Yeah.
Yeah.
These cars have bias ply tires on them. They don't hook up.
Can't do 800 horsepower.
I gotta have me another one of these. But yeah, that another thing too is stop at Nashville if you guys you get an opportunity. Go to the honky tonks.
Yeah.
We've stopped.
Did you? Okay. Yeah.
We're big Jason Aldean fans.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a bunch of them bars down there. Kid Rock and Jason Aldean, and of course you have to go to I want to call it Flo's, but it's not Flo's.
Doesn't Kenny Chesney have a place there?
Yeah, I think so.
Now
Yeah.
Bon Jovi does.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes, he's opening up a new place down there.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, 'cause Luke Bryan just opened up one, and Jason Aldean has
Yeah.
one there too.
His is pretty cool
Yeah.
because it's 2 or 3 stories, 3
I
stories.
think 3. Yep.
Yeah, and that was what I loved about it. You would have these 3, 4-story buildings.
Yep.
And each level is a different bar, including the roof.
Yes.
And a band.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's all live.
Oh yeah.
That's what I like about it.
That's what we like is live music.
I told my wife, I said, we can't move there. She goes, why? I said, because I'm going to be drunk and broke. So,
I'm a sucker for an outdoor patio.
I'm a sucker for live entertainment. I love live entertainment. So,
Yeah, we're very fortunate where we're at. There's a band, and the lead singer guitarist is phenomenal.
yeah,
He's really, really good.
yeah. There's some talented people out there. It's amazing. I love music. I don't know how to play it, but I love it.
Talented, no name like.
Yeah,
celebrity
well, you
status.
see him on YouTube too. There's a guy right now, a young kid, and he's doing a lot of country songs on YouTube, and he's phenomenal. Yeah, I'm surprised he's not a star. So,
Philip the Third says he's on his 3rd. You need to pick up the pace.
I've got company, Philip. I'm trying to be good. After they leave.
Don't hold back when we're asked. I'm surprised I'm not beating you.
Right?
I don't know. I am.
Well,
I
what?
only have about this, and this is my second one.
Oh, your second one? Yeah, so you're
So
right.
now-
You are beating me. Philip the Third, he's probably on his, did you say his 3rd?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't want to get in a drinking competition with him or Ed Page. Or even his son, Eddie Page. Is Ed on there?
They haven't commented.
All right, well, Ed Page, I tell you what, those guys, they like this stuff with cranberry juice.
Yeah, that is good.
It
It
is.
is.
That's what he likes.
I have to admit that.
Yeah, you crush the ice and put a straw in it, and then I'm going to go to sleep in the corner. Going to probably wake up with a hangover and a headache, but
B&R Racing sells beer and live at DCI.
all right, exactly.
That would be
Well,
fun.
you know what, guys? What I used to do whenever long before the internet, because we didn't have the internet, 25, 30 years ago, I had a shop, and in the back of my shop was about the size of this shop area right here. And I would, every third Tuesday of the month, I would do a live, what we do here with the internet. And I would teach cam theory and carburetors and headers, and we'd pick a topic, and every month we would do that. And I started out, I only had but at the beginning it was like 3 guys. The second week, 7 guys showed up. By the time, a year later, and I had to quit doing it because all the businesses around me were bitching, by the end of the year, I had over 100 people show up for that. Wow. And we charged $3 a head, and what we do is a 50-50 raffle and give half the money back, and somebody would win the money. And but man, I tell you what, it was huge. But there was nowhere for people to park. When you have that many people, you don't realize how many cars that is. So all the businesses around there, they were parking in their parking lots, and man, they were pissed off at me all the time. But that was fun. I enjoyed it, and that's why I wanted to start doing this again with my son. He was a kid whenever I was doing that. He was only maybe, I don't know, 8 or 9, maybe 10, something.
I don't even think that old.
You were young.
Yeah.
So, because you're what, 39 now?
Yep.
39. Hard to believe my baby's 39. I'm getting old. Yep. Well, I don't feel old. I feel like I'm still 30 maybe. I don't know.
Ron Ike says the good old days. He would have.
Yeah, Ron, that's right. Ron was there for the seminars because he worked for me at that time.
Yep.
Ron's a big dude. I tell you what.
Big dude.
Big guy. He's probably 6'6" and he used to be about 320 pounds. And I'm going to tell a story on you, Ron. He had an old flatbed pickup truck. He had a Ford 9-inch in the back of it because he had a Monte Carlo he was building. And he didn't have it strapped down or anything. And he pulled out on Canton Road, which is the road that we were on. And when he did, this rear end rolled out of the truck. And you know how heavy a Ford 9-inch is. I mean, it takes usually 2 guys to pick that thing up. Ron picks that son of a bitch up because he was pissed off over his head and throws it in the back of the truck. I thought, whoa. You don't want to mess with Ron. Yep, Ron's a good guy. I've known Ron for a long time. We had a lot of fun together. Went to the racetrack a lot. We rented a racetrack back then too. And we would take probably 150 customers with us. And the track owner got pissed off at me because he said, bring as many as you want, because I was only going to bring like 50 or 75 guys. And I said, okay, I'll do that. I don't think he understood how many people I know. So we packed the place. I mean, literally packed the place. And he was pissed off because he only charged me $2,500 to rent a track. We had a ton of people there. I don't know if Ron remembers that or not, but because Ron on the way to that event actually goofing off on his motorcycle, the big dummy. He put his foot out and kicked a pylon on the side of the road, one of them rubber cones or whatever, and I think he broke his foot. And then he worked the event with me the whole time with a broken foot.
He never used to tie his boots.
No.
He said he's down to 240, and he does remember throwing the Ford 9-inch in the back.
You know what? I tell these stories, and people think I make this stuff up, but it's an honest to God truth. I don't lie. If I tell you it, you can take it to the bank. It happened. So, I mean, there's all kinds of things. One time me and my son were putting a transmission in my S10, and I didn't have a lift. It was in my old shop, and I had it up on 4 jack stands, and the transmission wouldn't go in, and he's young. He didn't know how to help me, and you know how tell him to hold the flashlight, and Dad's never, you never have it in the right spot, so Dad's yelling at you. And so anyhow, he's trying to help me, and finally I got pissed off. and I grabbed that transmission and shoved it up in there and shoved it in. He said, I don't know. He claims that I pushed it off the jack stand.
I was trusting it.
I don't know if that's true or not. But I do have
You're full on 'em.
I do have a true story. Whenever he was a kid, we were trying to get him to Little League baseball. And was it football? And we were late, and I had an Aerostar van. And so anyhow, we were running late, and there was an accident at the intersection where we live at. And there's a big medium about that high, probably about that high. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to drive over this thing because I'm not waiting for all this traffic to clear out. I got stuck. All four wheels were off the ground. No kidding. So I said, okay, son, you're going to have to run to the back, run to the front, run to the back. And he did, and we leapfrogged that thing over.
Yep.
It was just warming me up for the game.
Yeah.
He warmed me up a lot, trust me.
We've done some crazy, crazy stuff through the years. It's been fun. But yeah, Ron and I go way back. Oop.
Yep.
All right, guys, what time is it anyway?
It is 8:21.
Oh, man, I'm sorry, guys. I've been rambling for a while, and I don't know if this is entertaining for everybody tonight or not. I know a lot of you guys are Pontiac people, but appreciate you all coming tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for showing up tonight. That was fun. Yeah.
Thanks for saving us off the road.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Like I told you, I hope somebody does it for me if I break down. So I would do it again in a minute. But good night, everybody. Appreciate everybody showing up tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show. Next week, I don't know what we're going to do yet, but we'll figure out something fun. Maybe, what do we got going on right now? We got a lot going on. So we'll figure something out. I'm going to start inviting guests again too. So we'll see if we can, maybe we can get Ed Page on here. He's got to get his car back together. I got another customer, Steve Lemieux. He's, oh, you know what, guys, too? I wanted to tell you real quick. I don't know if everybody's still here or not. Good news. They're cutting the tooling for my new cylinder heads. That's a big, big, big deal for me because I started that project in 2019 too, and all the COVID crap hit, and it just kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. And finally, 5 years later, which was supposed to be a 5 to 8 week deal, we're going to get it done. So it's looking good.
Awesome. That means we'll have heads soon, hopefully.
Yes. So I'm going to be taking orders here pretty soon on those. I'll get some castings. I'll show you what they're going to look like. Let everybody see them so that they know what they're buying. But I'm telling you, you're going to be a kick-ass head.
B&R Racing said next week he would like to hear some DCI Don oil pan tricks.
Oil pan tricks. All right. Actually, you know what? I got a trick that I'll tell you guys about, and you ain't going to believe it, and it's free. So we can do that.
And Philip Third says checks in the mail.
Philip the Third, he sends me a check every week.
For $1?
Yeah, well, it keeps getting more. You know, it was $2, and then it was $4, and it was $8. So you know what? I don't know. I'm waiting for him to send that $1 million check. But he's getting closer. Phil is a great guy. He sent me a dial indicator too, which is awesome. This thing is like within a half a thou accurate, and it's pretty cool. So, and it's old school. I like old school tools because they work. You know, this new junk we buy is garbage. So, hey, we don't have to address any other questions or anything on there, son?
Nope.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Sorry about it going over, and I'm rambling and just talking about nothing, but not normally do we get guests that show up for the show, so.
Yep. All right. Well, have a good night,